So, Indy, let's get right with the Texans. They've been a huge disappointment. What do you think about their season?
Oh, man, where do I begin? You know, when you talk about this team, the division was theirs for the taking. Everybody expected the cycle to change and another team to step up and take over the division, and the Texans just couldn't get it done. And the first thing I think about is them not addressing the secondary in the offseason. You look at the young players that they have. They may be good players in the future, but you have to have experience in your defensive backfield. They decided not to go with experience, and I think they made the wrong decision, and it showed throughout the year.
They got one game left against Jacksonville at Reliant. It could have been so big, could have been so important, could have had every seat filled, but they wasted such an opportunity. Now everybody wants to know, are they going to fire Coach Gary Kubiak? Are they going to fire General Manager Rick Smith? I feel like they will make changes. I still believe Gary Kubiak will be back. I think the extension he signed last year through 2012 has something to do with it. I also think the potential lockout has something to do with it. How do you feel about the coaching staff? I think it'll be Frank Bush, David Gibbs, and now, I never thought I'd say this, one of the original coaches, Joe Marciano, because special teams have been terrible this year.
Oh, right, and that's one thing people have not pointed out, the lack of production out of the special teams. I think if someone's fired, it's definitely going to be Frank Bush. I think he's going to be the scapegoat, but I also believe that if you think the team's just going to turn around because of one guy, one defensive coordinator, they're going to have to make a lot more moves, whether it be players, whether it be admin, or other coaches besides Frank Bush. But I'll be shocked if Frank Bush could keep his job after the performance the defense had throughout the year.
Okay, let me ask you this. A lot of fans are saying, well, they should go get Wade Phillips. Wade has been one of the best defensive coordinators for a long time, but Wade plays a 3-4. What would be good and bad about going to a 3-4 next year?
Well, what would be good is an aggressive defense. You see a lot of teams like Pittsburgh, Baltimore, they have a lot of success running the 3-4. What would be bad is if you're not into change, there's going to be major changes. Now, I'm talking about they might even have to package up some players that you've grown accustomed to and ship them out to get guys that fit that 3-4 system. And the guy that I'm thinking of is Mario Williams. You know, he's a great athlete, but he's not an outside linebacker, and he's definitely not going to play a two-gap defensive end position. So if you bring in a 3-4, you might have to ship a guy like Mario out. You'll get a lot for him. You could get a second-round pick, some veterans that play into that system, but you have to be ready for one of your big-time players to be shipped out if you switch an entire system on the defensive side of the ball.
Worst thing in the world is you make that switch like Washington. You don't have the talent. Redskins have the worst defense in the league. If you're good and you do have the talent like Green Bay made that change. It's been smooth, and they brought in Dom Capers. Whoever coaches your defense, it's got to be the right move. It's going to have to be somebody that the fans really get behind.